Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. On today's show, we have Don Bosco Prep's offensive coordinator, Ignacio Urbina, who coached the player taking the NFL by storm, New York Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito. We also have the president and CEO of Primo Hoagies, Nicholas Papinier Jr., who is spreading the holiday cheer through a giveaway with Primo Cares. But first, we highlight Halos for Angels' annual Love is in the Air Gala, which was held at Ravello in East Hanover. We're here with Karen Castellaro, the founder of Halos for Angel and a saint here on earth. What a wonderful night.
Oh, thank you. This is a wonderful night. Having all angels in one room under one halo, it's just amazing.
And you really know how to pick the stories of people helping each other out in the community. And you really brought that element of surprise, especially for me. I was so humbled. How did you come to start this?
We started this after I went through my own tragedy with my family. I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I had to get a double mastectomy. And during that recovery journey, I had such overwhelming support from our community. People I didn't even know would show up to my doorstep with meals. And what really got my heart was to watch my 5 children look out the window and say, oh my gosh, who's coming? You know, what are we gonna eat? So their enjoyment and their wonderful faces of love inspired me and gave me hope.
Halos for Angels came to your side in your time of need. How did that relationship come to be?
So I lost my mother when I was 16 on September of 2019. For a few years, it was my father, brother, and I. My brother is on the spectrum for autism, so explaining to him what happened with her mother was very hard for him to understand and grasp. Fast forward to this past September, our father recently passed away unexpectedly, so things have been very hard, and grieving and now helping my brother transition from having our father to not having our parents anymore and keeping up with school.
So how did Halos for Angels help you?
They have helped us with helping bury our father. They've set up fundraisers for us. They have asked us how they could help us. They have set things up within the schools and around town.
For people watching, why is it important to support Halos for Angels?
I feel like we all are going to come across hard times, and even if we expect it or don't, just the thought of giving back, I think is very important. And you never know when you can be in those shoes and in that hard time. So I think giving back is really important.
What Karen Castellaro has done for me and friends of mine that have come down with cancer recently is just unbelievable. People can come together and take care of the people that are sick. Karen is always there for someone, and she just makes sure that the family is taken care of, and that's what makes her so special to everything.
Tonight I'm up here because I came very close with the Kenny family over here. Johnny was one of the sweetest boys I was blessed to meet. And tonight I'm very proud to say I also know a sibling who's going to be the next presenter. And I want to thank Madeline for our friendship.
Halos for Angels was there for us, and they still are today, even after his passing in January of this year. Johnny and our family had the pleasure of meeting honoree Lisa Marie. Johnny enjoyed speaking with Lisa Marie so much. Their connection was instant and easy.
Hi, Johnny. It's Jen. I just want to say a little bird told me that you are a huge, huge Friends fan. And that makes me so, so happy. I'm currently on the set of my new show, which I don't know if you've seen that one. But I just want to tell you, I so love you and I appreciate your admiration. And I want you to have a beautiful Christmas with your family and a gorgeous New Year. And know that I'm with you. And I'm wrapping you in my arms in a big squeeze.
How did you and Halos for Angels come together?
I worked in the salon and Karen came in and I said, what exactly is Halos? And she told me that they help people in need in hard times. And I thought, what a great idea. I want to start helping people. So I started advocating with clients and everything and getting a lot of donations and just making it work. you know?
She mentioned in introducing you, you were once working on somebody's hair while having a heart attack?
I didn't feel right. And I did I did the kid's hair. Pre that, I did a trial run. That day, I couldn't even get a curl right. I didn't feel, I kept on getting dizzy. I did their hair. After I was done, I went to Mars down. They said, you're having a heart attack.
Wow.
And I was actually like, well, I finished work, I told them. They go, you what? I said, I finished work. It's prom weekend.
Why should people watching support Halos for Angels?
Because we put a little light in those that can't see any at the end of the tunnel. We really do.
How proud are you of your sister tonight?
I can't even put it into words. I am so inspired by her unending ability to give.
You and I were honored tonight here at Halos for Angels. Talk about your Halos for Angels story and how you got here.
Yeah, so I originally was looking to do a community fundraiser. I originally did it, or tried to do it rather, with the school I go to, Hanover Park. That didn't really work out, so I found Halos for Angels, and it really struck me as a very great cause, a very great organization. So since then, I made the junior board with a couple of my friends. I knew that pickleball was becoming very popular, and I was thinking of just ways to get involved with the community. So I thought it would be a good twist on a fundraiser, something fun to do, something new and interesting than just your basic, fun run or something else like that.
Why is Halos for Angels so important to those in need in the community?
It brings a very positive opportunity to a lot of people. I think that what they represent, what Karen and Halos for Angels stands for, is very important. There's not a lot of that nowadays, and I think that's very important to have that sense of community everywhere, not just in Florham Park.
Since we all need support from time to time for people who are fortunate to dodge sudden tragedy. We all need our souls nourished, and personal connection will always be a need for you, for me, and for all of us.
Don Bosco Prep is known for their state-renowned football program, and now they have an alum who graduated to Giants quarterback. Ignacio Urbina, the program's offensive coordinator, is here to tell us more about coaching Tommy DeVito and the program's overall success. Coach, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. And I have to start with the man of the hour. I mean, he really has taken the league by storm. Your very own Tommy DeVito. When you coached him, did you expect to see this from him one day?
Not to this level. In terms of capabilities and his ability as a quarterback, we always thought he can go a long way. And it always takes a little bit of luck, but not just him being on the Giants or him getting an opportunity. Beyond that, this whole thing that's just kind of taken the area and really the country by storm. He's just been running away with it. No, I would have never guessed that this whole thing was going to happen the way it's taken off for him, no doubt.
I think his father would disagree, though. I mean, they gave him the initials, TD, right? And they have the chains.
And the TD's been around for a while, right? We always joked about how TD, touchdown, Tommy DeVito, it works. The chain's been around for a while. The number's been around for a while. So that's been there for sure. Just the way this thing has taken off, it's been a lot of fun to watch.
So describe coaching him those 4 years at Don Bosco. What was the experience like?
He was just a great player that in terms of his story and the way he worked and the way everything unfolded for him was like the model story that we like to talk to our kids and our families about. For starters, I wasn't the offensive coordinator at the time. I was coaching the running backs, but I was in the meeting rooms with him, just being on the offensive side of the ball every single day. He was the type of kid that always had a notebook with him and always had that beginner's mentality at every single meeting that we went to, year in and year out. And just watching, again, his development just unfold. He came in, obviously, with a whole lot of ability his freshman year. This is a very competitive place in terms of playing time. It's a lot of work and time commitment that these kids put upon themselves just to be a part of this program. He was never the type of kid, even with all the ability that he had early on, he was never the type of kid that had this sense of entitlement where he felt like he needed to be up at the varsity level or, just frustrated with the amount of reps that he was getting. He was never that type of kid. So he, just let the game come to him and let everything come to him. And he just, did his time. He played freshman football here. He was on the freshman team. And then his sophomore year, he played JV for us. He was up with us on varsity, learning the entire offense, but he played JV. He was the starting quarterback for JV which I call the Office 4 at the time. And he was great. You know, he was a great leader there, and just, you know, learned from all the quarterbacks that were ahead of him. And he got his shot to start his junior year. So he did his time, you know, on the sub-varsity level his freshman year and his sophomore year, and then he started for 2 years. And I think that that's just a great message to take, you know, the way the game is now, where people come in with certain high expectations and they want to play freshman year. And it's like, hey, like, you don't necessarily need to play freshman year to have, you know, success later on the road, whether it's Division I college ball and now even him, obviously the NFL. But if you just follow the process and stick through it, you know, great things can still happen to you. It's not necessarily about starting, you know, the first day you set foot on campus. You know, just kind of staying the course, all right, and following the natural process that it takes to just become a successful player. He was never the type of quarterback that and the type of player that was above doing certain things that the other guys would do, right? He was always, in terms of competition, in terms of sprints and conditioning, he was the guy that always wanted to finish first, right, and just compete and beat everybody. So he had that to him. And he had that bit of rah-rah to him, but he honestly didn't need it just because of the type of player and confidence that he had. The guys just rallied around him on the sideline. So he didn't have to get into anybody's face, or he didn't have to give any kind of like emotional speeches to say, hey, let's get it going. He really had that kind of quality to him where everyone can just kind of look at him, and he could look at everybody else in the eye and say, hey, like I got this, it's on my shoulders, just follow my lead and we're going to get there. And that's the kind of leader that he was.
I'm sure when you saw Tommy line up at MetLife with the Giants, it was such a full circle moment for you, because only a few years ago, he was leading your program to the state championship.
That was really cool to see, to get, you know, his first home start in the NFL at MetLife, which was the last, you know, high school football game that he played, like the state championship that he played there, and he won on that field. That was really cool for us to see. Like, you can think back, and I've got pictures from that game of us celebrating on the field, and now this kid's being announced in front of a crowd of, you know, thousands and thousands of people, you know, 10 minutes, 12 minutes from his house, and 25 minutes from his high school. You know, it was really cool.
Coach, who are some of the other notable alumni to come out of the program?
Well, for example, right now, even from that era, Marcus Valdez is playing up in the CFL, you know, for the Montreal Alouettes, and they just won the Grey Cup, you know, just a couple days ago. You know, Tommy Sweeney was just with the Giants, and Tommy connected on a touchdown in the preseason. That was cool to watch. You know, we've got on the Jets, the long snapper for the Jets, who's been there forever. You know, Hennessy, he's been there for a long time, I think 10 years with the Jets. His younger brother, Matt's the starting center for the Atlanta Falcons. So it's Thomas Hennessy and Matt Hennessy in the league. Alquadine Muhammad, who's right now, he was with the Bears, he's with the Colts. He's got a good 9-year run in the NFL as well. You know, those are the guys, obviously, like that have been in the league. You know, Ryan Grant was a running back who's my age, and he was with the Packers, and he had a great run with the Packers back in 2007, 2008 when they were in the playoffs and things like that. And even Aaron Rodgers, who's with the Jets, I mean, his backup quarterback at Cal was Steve Levy, who was same thing, my age. He was his backup quarterback, and he's a Bosco guy, and he's started for 3 years here, and he's got a great relationship with Aaron Rodgers. So even just the connects that we have from guys going to different colleges and stuff like that, and playing with guys that know guys in the NFL. Leonte Carew, who's no longer playing in the league, he was with the Dolphins. He's now, you know, I coached him, and now he's back coaching with us. He's my wide receivers coach. So it's awesome coaching with a guy who I coached who was also in the league. It's just a lot of fun, and it's again, same thing. We're just really proud of all those guys that have made it this far, and not just great football players, but great people, right? Great characters. You never see them in the news with anything else outside of the headlines that they're making on the field. So we're really proud of that. Those guys, when they get to the next level, and again, 10 years down the road, they always appreciate, you know, what their time spent here at Don Bosco Prep and the lessons that they learned. And that's something that you can carry with you the rest of your lives. And again, it's not always going to hit at home for these guys in the moment. But we love to hear the stories of, you know, 10 years later, when they remembered a certain moment or something that you said to them, or a moment on the field, or a moment at practice in the summer, you know, like all that stuff sticks with you, right? And it's you know, they're here at Don Bosco Prep at such an important time in their lives, these formative years, that, you know, we really hope that what we preach really sticks to them. And like you said, the character development is above all else the most important thing that we want to let our families know when they bring their kids here. Hey, like, you're going to trust us, all right, to be with your kids for a large majority of the day. And at the end of the day, like, you need to trust us to be an extension of your home and the values that you preach at home. And we pride ourselves in that. That's something that we take very seriously.
What is that recruiting process?
We have a program at school. It's called Ironman for a Day, where students can come up and sign up, and they can just shadow one of our current, students, and they go through the school day. They go there's different classes. There's kids that, youth teams come up to our home games, and they're on the sidelines, and they're watching. They're getting the full game day atmosphere of what we do. They see our team meal and how we prepare on Fridays before every single game. So the recruiting process starts early. Again, just meeting families and developing relationships with them. And again, like we said, such a big part of it is, we're a regional school. So there's families coming from different areas in New Jersey, even New York. New York is right up the block. So, for a parent who's sending their 14-year-old son to a school, just your local high school, sending them to your local high school is definitely a time of, there's the nerves that come into it. There's all that worry that comes into it as a parent, even more so when you're sending your son to some place like this. And so it's important for us, like I said, to build those relationships with families, and again, to have them feel comfortable with where they're sending their sons for the next 4 years.
Thank you for giving that insight, because people think the football season is just a few months out of the year, but really it is 365 days of commitment.
It definitely is. You do your best to include your families in everything you do. All of our families on staff, they come to all the games, they tailgate together. They understand the sacrifice that it takes. We just love the game. As coaches, we love the school, we love our program, and every family that comes in here, obviously we develop these relationships with them where they become part of our own families. And all our players and our moms and dads, they know our kids, they know our families, they know everybody. And we just do it again just because we love that competitive nature that this place has. We love the rivalries that exist. We love being able to play. If you make it to the state championship, we love being able to play at MetLife. Just, from when you're a kid, and again, growing up in North Jersey, growing up in New Jersey, there's great football all around. I always talk about, one of my best friends growing up, his father was the longtime AD at Hoboken High School, and I grew up in Hudson County. And, we were those little kids when we were 8 years old, going to those games in Hoboken, and we were playing at halftime, when it was the big time Hoboken versus St. Peter's Prep game back in the early 90s and things like that. We were those little kids, throwing the football around, that now at our halftime, I see those same kids throwing the football around. So, and then just coming to a place like Don Bosco and seeing the type of intense environment that it is, how could you not? It's high school football at its best, the league that we play in.
Coach, this was so much fun. Where can people find out more about the Don Bosco football program?
If you just visit our website, www.donboscoprep.org, all of our information is there. We're on Instagram, DBP Football, that's our handle on Instagram. On Twitter, DBP_football, that's on Twitter. Our coaches have Instagrams. The information's all out there. Come to a game. You'd be our personal guest. Come to our game. You'd be right on our sidelines. It's a lot of fun.
As long as I am in Principal Vin Diesel's luxury box.
Principal Vin Diesel will be there for you with a chair right next to him.
Coach, thank you so much. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Take care.
Primo Hoagies has locations throughout the Garden State. And joining us now is Nicholas Papanier Jr., owner, president, and CEO, about how they are giving back to the Jersey community this holiday season. Nicholas, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Primo Hoagies is in a lot of conversations right now for a variety of reasons, which we'll get into. But first is what you were doing this holiday season with your Give Back program. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so it's something we started roughly 10 years ago in 2014. We help underprivileged kids that may not have a Christmas this year if it wasn't for us. So we try and give back through them being able to open gifts on Christmas morning. So that's what it's really all about. I think this year we are sponsoring 150 kids' Christmases. So we work with Delaware Valley's Children's Charity. So they kind of give us a list of the children, and what they do, they'll give a name, and they'll tell if it's male or female, and then they'll tell us the sizes. And then what we do, we personally go out shopping, and we get bikes and gifts and Barbie dolls and action figures, baseballs, whatever it may be. We wrap it up, and then we tag the bag, and then we give it to the charity. And then Christmas morning, they put it out. They distribute it throughout the home. So when the child wakes up on Christmas morning, they see that Santa came down, and they have something to open for that morning. So in August, when there's kids that might not have a new backpack or they need pencils and pens and staplers, whatever they may need, we kind of put an initiative together where we handed out, I think we handed out 1,800 book packs this past August or 2 Augusts ago. It all helps, right? So it's every little bit. We're not asking for $1. We're just asking for your change. And whether it's, 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents, it all matters at the end. So, and if we don't get to our goal, which we never not been to our goal, but I will always throw a little extra in to make sure that we can get a couple extra kids in.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about Primo Hoagies as a whole now. I shared with you off camera the first time I enjoyed one of your hoagies was down in Wildwood, which you revealed was your first New Jersey location. What makes New Jersey a good market for so many of your locations?
Yeah, I think New Jersey is a great market for us. I think so. Going back to Wildwood, that was actually our first franchise location, and my family owned it. So I have a lot of good memories there. I still, go to Wildwood every summer as well. I think the chain has really, I took over back in 2019. Since then, we added on about 30 stores. We have another 100 in development. I think the state of New Jersey kind of, goes in hand with Philadelphia. Philadelphia, New York, very similar in taste as well. So I think our Italian hoagie really relates to both states well, and I think New Jersey is really doing a good job up there right now. Especially we have a big fan favorite right now in Tommy DeVito.
You know what's hysterical? When we planned out this show, we invited one of his coaches to come on, so he just came on right before you. And it was just serendipitous. We did not plan that at all. And we obviously talked about the latest craze going through the NFL in Tommy DeVito. And he was at your location in Wayne not long ago, and the line was wrapped around the building for hours. Talk about the scene there.
So obviously Tommy's been a hot topic lately. I've been getting texts from his agent, his uncle, just a lot of connections there. He's a big Primos fan apparently, big Cutlet guy apparently. So he came out to one of our locations the other night, and from what I told, there was a 3-hour wait for him. And Tommy's such a good kid because he was only supposed to be there for 2 hours. He actually stayed the extra hour to make sure every fan got an autograph. And I think we sent him home with a couple cutlets as well. So funny how everything just gelled together, especially, the injuries that the Giants been having this season and him coming into the spotlight, him having the connection with Primo Hoagies, the family connection we had. He's still living at home. So it was just a perfect storytelling moment that, should be made into a movie one day maybe. But it was pretty cool. And he's such a good kid, and we all wish him luck. Hopefully he has a great career ahead of him.
I want to talk about you now.
Yeah, so my father actually found the franchise. He found the franchise. He did the first franchise location in Wildwood. He retired about 7 years ago. I took over as owner, president, and CEO back in 2019. I took it over with about 70 stores. We opened up our 110th location in New Orleans, Louisiana. We should open up another 5 by the end of the year, and I think by the end of next year we'll be at 135. I think just really investing into the infrastructure. I've been around this my whole life. I've been doing this for over 20 years, so I have a really good relationship with franchisees. I'm 24/7. I'm in the grind. It's just something I'm really passionate about. I don't really have any hobbies. I don't like to travel. This is what I like to do.
How do you keep tabs though on so many locations? I mean, you must have a rock solid chain of command to give you some sort of peace of mind.
We have. I have a really good team we built. We keep adding to it. Our infrastructure is pretty sound, but I might have a tendency to micromanage sometimes. People may say that here or there.
Well, as a North Jerseyan, it like hurts me to call it Primo Hoagie. doesn't really.
Well, you know what they call it? They call it Primo Subs up there.
Yeah, exactly. What sets you apart though? Because I mean, up here in North Jersey, there's 1,000,001 different places to get a good sandwich. What sets your product apart?
Yeah, North Jersey, you guys have a lot of great food up there, a lot of good options. I think what sets us apart a little bit is our quality. And a lot of people talk about quality, but I think we back it up. And that's not a knock to our competitors, but we are a family owned, and all we do care about is quality. Like the recipes that are in our sandwiches are actually family recipes. The meatballs are my grandmom's recipe. They're a third pork, a third veal, and a third beef. You normally don't see that in a chain restaurant. The hot cap that goes into our sandwich, that's a family recipe. The chicken cutlets, that's an Italian breaded season, and it's a family recipe. So, and then obviously we have our award-winning bread. That's specially made for us. It's our recipe as well. So I think a combination, there's a lot of lot of homegrown things in our chain, which I don't think you're going to find in, bigger chains than we are.
Where can people find out more about Primo Hoagies?
Just go to our website, primohoagies.com or ownaprimo.com, and that will give you a bunch of locations. Our social media is on there. Stay tuned because I think Tommy might be coming to another location or two within the next couple of weeks here.
Are you ready?
I might have to get cops here to start navigating traffic for us.
Yeah, cops, heat lamps. Exactly, sleeping bags, the whole nine. Nicholas, this was so fun. Thank you so much. Congratulations on all of your success and happy holidays.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy holidays.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We'll see you back here next week.